guy's got all the answers, the old dude in the back. Waxy Maxie's was a record store, right? All right, so it was a record store, and I went in and I'm flipping through albums, and I see Santana, and I go, oh cool, let me check that statistic. So the second time I saw that guitar was when I turned the album jacket over, and on the back cover was Santana with the guitar that Smith had brought into the club. And I was like, oh. And it really hit me like a train that Paul was going to go all the way, that he had broken through that front line and he would make it. Fast forward to 2014. So NAMM had a board meeting with a visit to the Music Instrument Museum in Phoenix, Arizona, which PRS contributed to. Diodario had a lot to do with, and they let us walk around for about an hour after dinner because the museum was closed. And we came down this big curved staircase, and they had a guitar wall with about 60 guitars. And right dead center in that wall was that same friggin' guitar. So my daughter was 17 at the time, and I turned to her and I said, you know, I don't tell this story much, but I've had that in my hands. I said I had it actually before Santana saw it. I saw it the day before it went to New York. And I told her this whole story, and she looked at me like, you're insane. I said, I'm just telling you. And there it is again, you know. So that guitar has shown up in my world 3 times. So the purpose of the story is this. If you don't fuel what you're getting ready to undertake with complete passion and conviction and belief, you're going to have a much harder road. Okay, so when Paul showed me the guitar, I kind of patted him on the shoulder like, love you, man. You think big. And I kind of laughed to myself because I knew he was crazy. I'm like, dude, Santana's not going to take that guitar. And I was very wrong. So the interesting thing is, in 1982, that's where he was, and that's where I was, and we're both at the NAMM show. So the idea of projection and trajectory really comes down to you guys. So get your head around that, because the next 22 slides are going to tell you the duck and cover. So we all know we start with dreams, right? Raise your hand if you disagree with that. Okay, good. Moving on. All right, so this is what this whole session's about. Who are you, and what's your vision? What do you intend your role to be in the music business? So that's why I wanted to get the conversations going before we started. So, you know, you gotta just basically say to yourself, you know, what am I trying to accomplish? So let's start at the top. Let's start with legends. Then underneath that you got stars. Underneath that you got artists. Then you got musicians. Then you got singers. Then you got educators, tech engineers, business people, producers, studio musicians, songwriters, product design. So there's all kinds of stuff. When you guys are talking about, I'd like to be a repairman, we had that conversation going. That's a business guy. That's a business. That's a craft. So when you look for legend, that's lofty. You know, that's lofty. Can anybody tell me the next Dolly Parton? Raise your hand if you think you know who that might be. Anybody got a clue who that might be? Go ahead.
Taylor Swift.
Well, that's actually true. She's already established. I think Taylor Swift's going to be Taylor Swift. You know, and she's in the video. Before we're done, you will see Taylor. Anybody familiar with Casey Musgraves? Yeah. Okay. Casey Musgraves gets it. Okay, she completely gets it. She has a secret weapon. Anybody know what his name is? Luke Laird. Anybody know who Luke Laird is? No? Okay, this is fun. You got work to do. All right, so here's the deal. Luke Laird is Nashville's #1 songwriter. Okay, he's one of the top 5 guys. He's written Carrie Underwood stuff. He's written just everything for everybody. And he co-wrote her first album. Okay, so Casey's got all the skills and then some, and Luke Laird's got insight. So, you know, there's a lot to that story, but I'm a big fan of that. So she's at the moment an artist. She's not just a musician. What's the distinction? Anybody want to get into what the distinction might be between a musician and an artist? Go.
Maybe someone who has a more specific brand, or someone who's kind of able to market themselves in a more
Right.
unique way.
There you go. So they're more of a brand as an individual. A musician would work for an artist. Make sense? All right, good deal. All right, so Steve Gadd, my favorite Gadd quote of all times. Everybody knows who Steve Gadd is, right?
Yeah.
Anybody not know who Steve Gadd is? Raise your hand. Don't you try to hide from me. Alright, he's the most successful drummer in the music industry, period, non-debatable. Plays currently for James Taylor, has played for Eric Clapton, has played for Chick Corea, busy fella, most recorded guy of all times, known basically for the tune Asia. Anybody know that band, the Steely Dan band? You guys got that right? Alright, he recorded Asia. So Steely Dan was known to eat drummers and just make them do take after take after take. They recorded Asia one time. And they said, that's all we need. So he's kind of a famous guy. Alright, 20-second rule. This is a big slide. Doesn't look like a big slide. Raise your hand if